Greetings again. This time I want to show you a little trick that I use for preparing a blank for a segmented bowl that's going to be part of a 50-50 bowl. Now this is half of the blank, but that's all I'm going to work with. This is going to be the base of one of my 50-50 bowls, and I call it that because, as this example will show, that's how it's laid up. It's 50% segmented and 50% not. This portion here is part of what I'm going to work on now. This one's a little bit different in that I didn't go for symmetry, and I'll show you that later. What we're going to talk about now is I want a straight line, which is going to be define my half portion, if you will, and I want to do that on the table saw. Now, as you can imagine, trying to use this on a table saw as it is at best extremely dangerous, and if you try and do that by hand, there's no real way to push and hold it accurately and safely. So I'm going to show you a technique for getting that cut done on the table saw and doing it safely. The first step will be to define the area that I want to draw that line. Another thing I want to show you when I'm going to do this, as you can see, this is dark wood. I'm using a silver pencil to mark on because the darker woods show a line better if you use a silver pencil. This is just a simple Prismacolor silver color pencil. Happens to be a 949, if that means anything. I'm going to draw this line on this side of the ruler, something along here. That's good enough for my purposes. And so that's the line that I want to try and cut on the table saw. If you're going to do something like this on a segmented layup like this is, I don't know if you can see this in the video or not, but what I've done after I've glued this up is I sanded both sides flat on my belt sander. Now if you look at it carefully, you'll say, well, I can still see glue and everything. Yes. Well, flat, by this I mean that it'll lay here flat. It won't tip or anything, because when you're going through the blade, you don't want this thing suddenly shifting on you. The top side has to be just as flat, again, not perfectly yet, because it's going to have to accept what we're going to stick on there. What is going to be stuck on is this piece of wood. What this piece of wood brings to the effort is simply a straight edge. I've cut this on the table saw just to make sure it's straight. The rest of the wood I don't care about. What's going to happen is I'm going to get carpet tape and put pieces of tape along here. So let's do that. I'm just using 1-inch carpet tape. You want to use a fairly strong double stick tape. I call it carpet tape. I don't know specifically if that's what it's termed. But we're going to put this about here. Where it goes doesn't matter. I am keeping it about 1 inch away from that line for a purpose. But you do want them far apart. And by that I mean you don't want them really close together. The further apart, the more stable it's going to be. The next step is I'll peel this protective piece off, which sometimes can be a challenge, to expose the sticky surface that we're going to use. So that's done. Now I'm going to put my straight edge on that line. I don't want ultra or need ultra accuracy, but let's just shoot for something close. The straight edge of this piece of wood that you want to use has to be away there. Now I have to get this away from the saw blade, press it down so it's stuck on. No problems there. What that's going to give me now is the edge to ride on my rip fence. So now what I can do is line this up, get my rip fence slid over here, and I am more or less just eyeballing it. Super accuracy doesn't matter that much, but you do want it fairly close. Now we're ready to make that cut. Pull it away. Yeah, I shut you off there while I make the cut because it's just so loud. Now, I can pull that off. Pull off my tape, which can be a challenge. It sticks on well, which is what you want. And now I've got a nice straight edge. Now I can draw my half circle and cut it out, finish it, and move on with the rest of the bowl. Thanks for watching.